What's good, everybody? It's your boy Brian for here for another casual podcast. And today I'm going to be talking about the awful things that are happening in Ukraine. If you do not know what's happening in Ukraine, it is currently under siege from Russia. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about that. But we're coming to you live from Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Um, we're also streaming live on IG. The Casual Podcast is brought to you by the Casual Brand. There we go. The Casual Brand clothing, Casual Brand pages. Anything you need to stay casual, we got it. So, with that being said, let me just take a sip first because we got a lot to get into today. A lot. So, let me start by saying this. Oh, before I get into it, also, we have two new podcast episodes, one with Darcel and one with Ashley. Great podcast. So if you haven't checked it out yet, go ahead and check it out. They're going to be on Spotify. As soon as I finish this stream, they're going to be live. And then secondly, this is a new time we're trying out. So I'm going to try 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, see if it works. Let me know if you like it in the comment section, as opposed to 10-ish, which was good. What my main objective was, or my main thought was, consistency. I can consistently do that, but now I want to kind of try to see what's a better sweet spot for having a little bit more followers on and a little bit more interaction. So let me first start with speaking about Ukraine. I am 100% anti-war. Okay, let me say that first and foremost. I am anti-war. I cannot believe in the year 2022 we are still having wars. I cannot believe that coming out of a pandemic with the massive loss of life, the idea would be let's start a war. I know that there are lots of complex reasons and issues that happen between Russia and its border, Russia and Ukraine, Russia and NATO, and so on and so forth. That being said, the idea that another country would invade a sovereign nation blows my mind at the cost of life. Because that's the thing about it for me. It There's no way around it. It's at the cost of life. Now, I do have respect for the Ukrainian president who um, is fighting alongside. Well, I can't say he's fighting. He's alongside his soldiers, and that's a respectable thing. Now, I've heard some things, negative things about him. I've heard that he's not that great of a guy. That he's essentially a dictator with a little d, pun intended, not intentional but intended. But apparently, the guy was an actor. Who's the voice of Paddington Bear. Everyone loves Paddington Bear. It's an interesting thing, but all that to say, I cannot believe Russia is doing what they're doing. I can't say I know all their reasoning. I don't think there's ever a good enough reason to go to war. Period. I don't like war. I don't like the loss of life. I don't like that we pretend like it's this formal dance with these rules about how you can and when you can and who you can kill. I'm not for it. Um, I think you need to talk it out. Always talk it out. And people might be like, "Well, Brian, that's naive. These things are complicated." Oh, well, okay, well, yes, they're complicated, and killing each other is a good solution. It's a practical solution. It's a logical solution. It's an empathetic solution. Come on, man, we can do better than that. I thought we were better than that. I keep being disappointed because I feel like we're better than what we are. I need to actually accept the fact that we live in a world where I is the most important. And so I'm going to do what's most important, what's good, what's best for me. But it's unfortunate. It's sad. I think what's happening in Russia is terrible. Seeing the family separated is disgusting. It's awful. I mean, I'm not blaming the Ukrainian people. I feel real sad that, I believe the numbers are 18 to 60. Jeez. If you're a male and you're 18 to 60, you have to fight. You have to stay. At least you have to stay. I mean, wow. That's fighting age. Um, I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do if that happened to me. I'm not that guy. I love this country. I think it's the best country in the world. I know we have our problems, but I think it's the best country in the world, but I am not that guy. I'm not I'm not fighting anybody. I'm not killing somebody, you know? Maybe if they were like invading us, like what's happening with Russia and Ukraine, maybe then I feel differently. Um, but to go somewhere to kill somebody, no. No. I don't really understand the logic. I don't really follow the connection. Killing someone over somewhere else is somehow making me freer. I don't think it helped for George Floyd. I don't think it helped for Trayvon. I don't think it helped for Breonna Taylor. And that's the reality. That's my reality. That's the reality of many. Don't tell me about how killing someone in Iraq or in Afghanistan is making me more free. It's not. Maybe it's decreasing the threat of a possible attack on US soil. I'll give you that. But it's not about freedom. It's not, at least in my opinion. But that's a good segue though, because there's also an issue and there's also a thing and I wanted to wait before I spoke about it because if I'm Russia, I'm thinking about anything I can do to discredit the Ukrainian people. So there's a story going on. There was a story, it was one source at first, but now it's multiple sources. So now I can talk about it. I feel comfortable talking about it. They are not letting African people and Middle Eastern people leave the country. But I'm going to focus on African people, black people. They're not letting black people leave the country. They're blocking them from leaving the country. And that pisses me off. I am disgusted by the fact that in the midst of war, in the mid in the middle of an invasion, you find time to be racist. You know? I want to be all in for Ukraine, and I am 100% against what Putin. I think another important uh, distinguishment we should make is that this is Putin's war. There are many Russian people out in the streets protesting. They're not for war because war costs lives. And whose lives does it cost? The people. It doesn't cost Putin. It is starting to cost the billionaires and the rich people in Russia, but the lives being lost are the lives of the people. Governments fight wars at the expense of people's lives, the people's lives, and the blood of their children, which is why I'm not for war. Back in the day, George Washington was out there. Leaders used to lead from the front, so they knew the weight of their decisions. Now they sit in chairs. No, and this is no shade to Biden. I am 100% pro Biden. I think he's doing good. I think he's doing the best job he can. But he's vacationing in Delaware. I guess we're not at war too. That's another thing too. We're not at war yet. We're not at war. I'm hoping and praying that we will not escalate to that point. But leaders go on vacation, you know, golfing while they drop bombs, while they send other people to die. So I I can't be fully for the people of Ukraine because it's unfortunate to see that there still are issues with racism. And I've been all over the world, man. I've been blessed to travel the world, Asia, Africa, South America, Central America, all of Europe. I mean, I've seen so many wonderful things. I've had the pleasure of getting to know with and working with some great people from all over. And one thing that I've seen is the way that they treat black people. It's hilarious almost. It's a universal thing. Like the world had a memo that went out and it says that we're going to have a hierarchy and black people are always, no matter what country you're in, and with the exception of some countries in Africa, black people are at the bottom. The darker you are, the lower you are. I watched a great 4-part series on Black in Latin America, and by I think his name's Andrew Gates, Professor Gates, and it blew my mind the mental hula hoops Latin people would do to deny their African roots, you know? And so I see a post, and I don't always respond to the post. I've progressed past that, and I highly encourage all of you to progress past a point where you're just reading a headline and going with that. We all did it at first, but now we can't do that anymore. It's dangerous, it's lazy. If you don't take the time to at least read what the article is saying, don't share it. Don't share it. So I saw a couple of posts. I was like, but I'm skeptical. I said, let me give them a chance. It's just one source. There could be a reason. And like I said again, if I'm Russia, I'm thinking, what can I do to discredit the people of Ukraine? This would be brilliant. We know that they do this. They did it for our election. And one of the main tools that they do is they attack us by race, by our racial divides, and as well as our left and conservative divides. They make fake sites and fake groups, and they get us all riled up so that we hate each other. So I thought maybe this could be what's happening. I don't know. I don't think that's what's happening, but let me just wait and make sure. But it's not. Multiple sources have covered it, and it's very interesting how the news has covered it. I don't believe in mainstream media. It's all mainstream. Fox, come on, man. What they're trying to say is leftist leaning, which there are news outlets that are left leaning. But this whole mainstream media, it's all mainstream, and it's all about money. That's what, if you want to say mainstream media, say the media that is highly influenced by money and advertising. Then I'll talk to you, because that's Fox, that's MSNBC, that's CNN, that's all of them. As soon as you start making money, then it becomes mainstream. I don't want to say making money, but the more money you make, the more influence you have to take in. So I saw it on multiple places. I seen literal instances where they were blocking the black people from getting onto the train or leaving. Heard that the country of Poland is not accepting any African people. They're only letting in white Ukrainians, which I don't know if they're black Ukrainians. I'm sure they're people that are residents of Ukraine. But why? I just asked why. Why, man? You know what I mean? It's the same feeling I had when we started the pandemic, and I saw people talking about their freedoms, and how essentially what they were describing is inconvenience they are by having to wear masks and social distance and blah blah blah. Small businesses, I 100% agree and stand with them. I do not feel our country did a great job of supporting small businesses, but for the individual, a lot of complaining. A lot of complaining about nothing at all. And so I'm just blown away. I'm blown away by these instances where we have an opportunity to come together. You know, everybody that's in Ukraine is being attacked. Why would you take the time to try to separate and distinguish? You know what I'm saying? Why? Why? Poland, what possible reason could you have for not letting people who have a valid passport into your country when you know they're fleeing for their lives? So I'm torn. I'm not going to just say it's all bad. I don't care. I don't care about what happens to Ukraine, because those are families. Those are families. Those are mothers, fathers, sons, daughters, grandfathers, friends that are losing their lives, losing where they have to live. I can't imagine the fear and the unrest that you must feel, um, with another country, a country the size of Russia. Think, like, as being a United States citizen, we really can't fully appreciate what it would be like to have Russia invade Ukraine, to be Ukraine. And I'm amazed. I am amazed, and I have nothing but respect for the people of Ukraine who are standing their ground. I pray that ends soon and that they don't have to lose more life than they already should. But they've already lost more lives than they should, because any life lost for war is too many. But in the midst, in the midst of in the midst, I don't know, in the middle of, we'll just say middle, in the middle of this horrible, horrific conflict, there's just more racism. And this is why, let me say this clearly. I am not against anybody. I am not against anybody. I'm for everybody. I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to live to their fullest ability, to pursue happiness to the fullest of that they can. But I am pro black. I am pro African American, because nobody's for us, man. I'm sorry. The people that are for us up until a certain point. And we better follow every single rule and condition for them to give us our support. I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't need your approval. Like, so for example, this judge, they just literally uh ran through a judge, um Barrett, I believe is her name. The newest judge. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name. Just ran her down. Like, I believe it was like 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks. You kidding me? And they want to talk about, we want to have bipartisanship. See, this is the whole deal with Republicans. And this is, I don't care. That's their job. They're elected to go and get stuff done for their people. They will do whatever and say whatever. When it's them, they're like, oh, well, we tried, but we just can't make it work. So we're going to do it by ourselves. But then when it's not them, they want to say, well, we want to work together. No, I don't want to work together with you. I don't need to work together with you. You can get on what I'm doing. You can join in, contribute, throw some ideas out, but we're doing this unapologetically. There is it if not a single Republican votes for this judge, it'll be just more of the same. Yeah, I'm hoping so, Ashley. That's a very good point. I agree with Ashley. I think it's going to end soon. The world is just putting all kinds of pressure on Russia, thankfully, because it's war. It's war in the year 2022. What are we talking about? I just And then, like, what makes it really crazy for me is they were like, we believe Russia's going to invade, and this is what they're going to do. They're going to say something happened, and then they're going to invade. And what did they do? They did the exact same thing. But to the credit of the world, everyone was responding. Everyone was like, no, 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 no. We don't want any more wars. We definitely don't want any more world wars. I mean, come on. I was speaking with my sister about it, and she was saying that essentially the last world war ended around the same time that the pandemic was starting. So we reversed it this time. I don't know. I just like, man, come on, life. Can we have a break? Can we just have like a recess in between the pandemic and a possible world war? I mean, they're talking about people struggling with anxiety. Wouldn't you? There's war and pandemics. This is crazy stuff. I feel like this is a penalty for all the kids who didn't pay attention in history class. They're like, okay, we're going to show you history. You ain't gonna pay attention? We're gonna show you. This is history. You know? Hopefully our economy will not try to participate. Although I've already lived through a recession, a bad one. I think 2 bad ones. One of them I didn't realize though, because I was a kid. But one of them I was kind of aware. I was in college. So, college kind of shields you a little bit from real reality. College is really good because it lets you ease into reality. So anyway, those are my thoughts on Ukraine. My heart aches for the people, but at the same time, I'm like, you can do better. You need to do better, people. You know what I mean? It's just what Putin is doing. It's not the people of Russia. There are some, but it's mostly Putin. What Putin is doing is awful, and he should stop. He should be stopped. I hope that the pressure, talks, whatever, helps him get to a place where he can chill out. Um, I think it's important that we also remember it's Putin. It's not Russia. Some people in Russia, yes, but it's Putin. He's awful. What he's doing is awful. The disgusting treatment of black people and African people in Ukraine and in Poland are trying to get in Poland being denied. That's awful. So I won't be changing my profile picture. I won't be adding any flags. I hope that the conflict stops soon, but do better. Do better. Okay? We got to do better. We got to start treating each other better. This is ridiculous. So on that lovely note, we're going to end. If you just tuned in, you can check this out. It's going to be up on all the pages. And also I'm going to drop this one, even though there's no guest, I am going to drop this one on because I think that it's important for people to hear my thoughts on Ukraine and the issue of blackness. Because while I do think it's important that we hold people accountable, I don't think we should just cut them off like, oh, well, screw Ukraine, they're on their own. No, I still, no war in the conflict, but people of Ukraine, please, please do better. Until tomorrow, same bad time, 6 p.m. Note to switch. I think it's going to be a good thing. I hope I see you tomorrow. I will be here at 6 p.m. Have a great day, and remember to stay casual.